I think Trump is doing an amazing job. He's giving us the campaign I hoped he was going to give us, but I really didn't think he would. You know, everybody bought into, including me, that he was going to be, I lost the election, they're after me, and a kind of a grudge tour, because I think I would have been tempted to do that. But he hasn't. He has been funny, relatable. He's not doing any grudge stuff. In fact, this week he said, and I disagree with this, but he said, I even consider pardoning Hunter Biden. I hope not, but I mean, he's not holding grudges. He's just doing the work for the American people. And I think that's because he's been out on the road every day for what, a year and a half? He said last night, or remember, he's going to become a dictator. He's never going to leave office. He said last night, this is kind of sad. We're 6 days away from the election, and I won't be doing this stuff anymore. I'm not going to be traveling around. This has really been fun to do this since 2016, and last 6 days of doing it. So he's not going to be doing rallies anymore. So I guess that's just because he becomes a dictator and a Nazi, and then he doesn't do rallies anymore, because Hitler never did rallies. Anyway, some of the things that this election is about, that it's really, really important, because this will decide which way we turn. For instance, war. One vote, I truly believe, is a vote for global war. And not that Kamala wants it, although I actually think the people around her do. If you listen to her acceptance speech, it was like neocon central. I mean, I've never heard anything like it from a Democrat. They were saying, we're going to go get them. Scary, really scary. If you choose Kamala, I think not only do some of the people around her want war, the machine wants war, but also she's so incompetent that all of our enemies are going to come out of the woodwork. Donald Trump, if he's elected, on the other hand, he said just yesterday, he is telling Benjamin Netanyahu, this war, you got to be finished before I get into office, because it's got to be finished. We're done. We're done. He also said that with the Ukrainian conflict, that'll be done as well. I believe both of those. And we have two people on record. We have Barack Obama and Joe Biden, who said they were going to end all the wars. He increased the wars. He killed more people. Donald Trump, first president in probably my lifetime that didn't start any new wars. In fact, was ending them. And that's just coming from strength. Now there's a story in the New York Times today. The U.S. Army prepares for war with China. New vehicles, face paint, and a 1,200-foot fall. From the New York Times, a big and cumbersome army is trying to transform itself to deploy quickly to Asia if needed. Early one morning this month, 864 Army paratroopers bundled into a C-17 transport plane and from a base in Alaska and took off for the Great Power War exercise between three volcanic mountains on Hawaii's Big Island. Only 492 made it. Some of the C-17s had trouble with their doors, while others were forced to land early. A few of the parachutes who did make it, or parachutists that did make it, landed with sprained ankles or suffered head trauma, and one 19-year-old private began to fall quickly when his chute didn't open. Good heavens! So we're preparing for war, and we're telling everybody how incompetent we are. We're becoming the former Soviet Union. That will end under Donald Trump. Let's see. There's another story today. House COVID panel refers Andrew Cuomo for potential prosecution. Why? Stu, I know you love Andrew Cuomo, huh?
I do.
What did he do that was so wrong?
How many people do you have to kill to be classified as wrong? What's the number on that? Is there? I mean, I know Jeffrey Dahmer got a special, so maybe it has to be more than him. I don't know. It's I mean, the Menendez brothers seem to be under that line. Whatever the line is, he's above it, though. So the fact that when you take COVID positive patients and shove them into nursing homes with the most vulnerable people, you should be prosecuted for all sorts of things. And
yeah, and what they're talking about here is not just killing people. Cuomo was accused of engaging in conscious, calculated effort to avoid accountability for his handling of nursing homes where thousands of people died of COVID. Yeah. So they're going to go after him for really basically the cover-up. So that ends. By the way, colleges must pay up for COVID-19 vaccine mandate injuries. That's from the GOP. That's going to end. This whole mandate crap, it's over if Donald Trump comes in. In fact, I think Fauci and the entire CDC and the FDA, all of this stuff, Donald Trump said last night, that's what he's giving to RFK to clean house. Go in and clean this up. That is a huge, massive, massive change. By the way, something else that will change, probably the immigration status of a lot of people, those who came here illegally, are going to be removed under Donald Trump. Now, so the left pretends this is impossible. The guy who exported more illegals than any other president in history was Bill Clinton. He removed 11 million illegals from our country. And I didn't even know that fact. Did you? I had no idea. So it has been done in the past, and it can be done again. And by the way, that was, 25 years ago with a smaller population than we have now. And nobody really noticed it. So what's the problem this time? Also, do you remember the German family? They're immigrants. They came here in exile because Germany was banning homeschooling and they were going to take their children away because they were teaching about God and everything else. And so they came here for exile. And Barack Obama wanted to kick him out. Joe Biden has wanted to kick him out. And they live year to year. And they're doing really, really well. Everybody in their community, they love these guys. I think that will change their status. Joe Biden just gave them another year to stay here before he kicks them out. I think possibly Donald Trump will give them the freedom to stay here and maybe citizenship if they want it. I think they do quite badly. You know the thing that will end? The nonstop lies. You remember the gunman that shot the Jewish man walking to a synagogue? He was in Chicago's West Rogers Park neighborhood. He shot a guy walking into synagogue. The police arrest him after there's a shootout, with him. The police say, well, we're not sure what the motive was. Okay, it was a Jewish guy going into synagogue, and his name is Sidi Mohammed Abdullah. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I got a guess on what the motive might be of shooting somebody going into the synagogue. Could be wrong. But of course, police don't know at this point. So they won't say anything. Even though witnesses have said he screamed Allah Akbar, we don't know what that means. He just was like looking at the trees going, God is great. That could be it. Oh, and also another quick little fact that has just come out. He's an illegal alien. He came across our border illegally. So yet another shooting that didn't need to happen and won't under Donald Trump. There is a huge sea tidal change in this country that is happening. People have had enough, even people in California. According to new statewide polling, Californians are poised to pass billions in new spending and approve new spending powers while also cracking down on crime. This is the part you need to hear. Statewide Public Policy Institute of California poll found 73% of voters support Proposition 36, which, now this is crazy, I want you to know, this would allow for felony charges for serial thieves and major drug crimes. Now, this is the opposite of what passed in 2014, Proposition 47, that turned the drug crimes and the theft crimes into misdemeanors. And it would also create a treatment-mandated felony crime class that would allow individuals to complete mental health or substance abuse treatment instead of going to prison. But this Proposition 47 was sold to the voters of California. It's going to save us money. It's going to reduce prison populations. It did that. And we're going to invest the money in social programs that will reduce future crime. Those things didn't happen. Increased crime, trial no-shows. People are just like, I'm not going to show up. What are they going to do? And people committing the same crime over and over and over again once they are caught. Californians have had enough of this BS. What do you think the rest of the country is going to say? Also, I just want to throw this in. We're going to stop drinking the poison that the rest of the Western world is drinking right now. Do you remember the guy who, in England, he went into some dance recital class, and it was a Taylor Swift themed dance class. He killed 3 children, 6, 7, and 9 years old. 6 other girls and 2 adults were also injured. This is what caused all of the uprisings. Now, what was the government saying? What were the people saying? The people were saying that this guy is an immigrant that came in and is not loyal to the crown. They're not loyal to the ideas of the West. He's an Islamic terrorist. Well, everyone went crazy. You can't say that. What are you talking about? He was just a good UK citizen, just gone wrong. And remember what they said about the people. The people who were marching in the street saying, this has got to stop. They called them extremists and Nazis and everything else. They said for months that this was not a terrorist institute. Well, now that everybody's forgotten, they've decided to charge him with terror. Not only was he found in cahoots with Al-Qaeda and having Al-Qaeda documents in his room, but they also found that he was making ricin for a bigger attack. Now, this is something the government knew, had to have known at the time. But they allowed the press and government officials to take their own citizens who were concerned about terrorists being in their neighborhoods and being swept off as heroes. They called them garbage. There is a sea change coming. There is a sea change coming. So those things are going to stop immediately under Donald Trump. Now, if Harris wins, what gets worse?